Hello everyone. Brad Jennings here, the psychic scientist, the millennial dragon. There's the board. This channel exists as a method of therapy to process my pathological relationship with Quentin Tarantino. I am the reason that Quentin canceled his film, The Movie Critic, last April, and the two of us have been embroiled in what has now become a legendary psychic siege for going on 2 years now. This channel was created for me to talk about it, right? Because I see it was me reckoning with the reality that he's not interested in like practical reconciliation, right? That he lives up here, right, in this arrogant, rarefied world, right, where he doesn't have to talk to me like a practical person at all, right? That I opted out. I'm not going to go on and on about that, right? That he drew the line in the sand and said, this is what you have to do, right, to be recognized by me before I recognize you, right? And so when he stuck his nose up in my letter, when he turned his back on my letter, I said, no, we're good. We're good. Right? I don't care about anything else that you did. Right? I want you to look me in the eye and tell me what you want, like a man. Because these games that you play at, they got nothing to do with the movies. Right? And that's true now, just like it was true then. And so what I'll say, right, moving forward, is that we're now in this condition where it is so absolute, right? Our connection, right? Our every thought is filtered through the other's head. That's what's occurring, right? That it behooves him, right, to either reconcile with me, just like it behooves me to reconcile with him, or to murder me, just like it behooves me to murder him. Because our minds are diseased with the other's psyche. That's where we're at. And that's not to mention, right, the impact that it has on the people around us. Right? My mother helps me with these videos a lot of the time. Sometimes I'll have the camera right here. She's standing right out of frame right now. She's not standing. She's sitting right out of frame right now. She's reading. Right? That our relationship has never been more strained than it is now. And so much of that has to do with my relationship with Quentin, right? And so, you think it's a one-way street? Right? That could be true on the crudest level. Right? That could be true. Literally everyone around him could be going, ha 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 ha. This guy's a fucking loser. Look how cool you are while you torture him into insanity. Right? Good Lord willing, he'll blow his brains out. That's our Quentin, right? What a cool guy he is. However, I suspect it's much more like my relationships with my family, where everyone around him is telling him, you have to let this go. You have to, right, whatever it takes. Right? I don't know. Maybe his wife is a complete fucking degenerate, just like him. Maybe they raised their kids under some sick, demonic level. Right? My point is that these are the games that he plays with his actors. Right? He says, if someone wants to act in my movies, me, Quentin Tarantino, right, writer-director of Pulp Fiction, right, then what you have to do in order to, for me to pat you on the back and say, yeah, this is my guy, I got my arm around him, right, is that you have to submit your conscious awareness to me, that I might possess it. Right? It's a sick psychology. It's not rooted in love. It's not rooted in compassion. It's not rooted in giving. right? If anyone's been paying attention to any of the videos that I've sent from A to D, right, then they know that the principle that the intellectual abstraction that creates the world operates on is love, is giving. The sun has no concern for what it receives ever. It gives and gives and gives and gives and gives of itself, unconditionally, forever. Right? So, my point is that I chose my side. Right? And I'm going to start reading from my novel. I'm not going to go on and on. Right? But he drew that line in the sand when he stuck his nose up in my letter and he turned his back on my letter. And he said, no, this is like, I expect you to do this for me. Right? I expect you to bark like a dog without me actually saying anything to you. And again, like, right? Like, I'm trying to see the whole picture, right? Like, I'm trying to see, right? I'm trying to build the frame that holds the image, right? And in his mind, he saw me as some sort of protege. I answer to no master save God. There it is. There it is, Quentin. Kiss my ass. My mind is mine. So we're reading through the novel. We're talking about the nature of reality. There's so much that I can say right now. Right? Everything that I said at the Burbank International Film Festival and at Mayberry, it's all valid. 100%. You think these games you want to put them up on a pedestal? And I know you don't know. I betray no master. Allow me to initiate you. This is the man. It's the same man. Right? I don't want to hold you, right in my mind, right? I don't want to put you in some corner of my mind, but I can. I've been really grateful for the activity the channel has been getting of late. I really appreciate that. It seems like pretty steady, like I'm always getting a few subscribers. And I know that I've been going all the way out there, right, on some level. Right? If you prescribe to the philosophy that, psychiatry has the only true understanding, right? Then I'm completely insane. And you take your pills and, right? And I've been obligated by law to take some pills. But what I'm saying is that there is another understanding, right? That literature is a very wide tree. Its trunk resides from present to eternity, right? And you can, for all that you can say, oh no, the literature says this, Freud says this, right? But there's another branch of literature, right? It has to do with the mind. It has to do with the spirit, right? And so when you say, oh, life is not an accident, I don't believe that life is an accident, then that opens up a whole nother resonance, a whole nother branch. Academic science is all fine and dandy, right? And everyone that's on the Burbank International Film Festival board, right? Trey Anastasio, David Mamet, right? They can all believe Quentin's bullshit and say, oh no, gosh, how unfortunate he's lost his mind. Right? And as long as Quentin is being evil, right? As long as he is, right? Because I'm not evil. That's, right? These things that he's touching on, I don't know that I have the constitution to actually do them. You know? It's so ugly. I can't stress that enough. Right? But as long as they have him, right, paying people to watch me, right, to to see what I'm doing, right? And what I'm saying is that remote viewing on the highest levels, I know this because I've been given a window, right? The remote viewing on the absolute highest levels is a pure aperture that you're actually seeing what's occurring, right? Not kind of like, the imagination can do those things too, right? That's all true too, that if it's not a pure resonance, then maybe it's a magnetic effluvia, kind of like, oh, gosh, like maybe it's, gosh, you know? But if you're actually seeing it, then you're actually seeing it in your mind's eye, right? So, right, I meditated on the vector equilibrium for years, right? I meditated on geometry for years. Said, oh no, I can conjure these things in my mind, in my mind's eye. So that now when I say, oh, gosh, I'm looking for Quentin Tarantino. In those rare moments of pure synergy, right, where everything is, right, that I can see him right there. In the geometric center of the mind's eye, right, the pineal gland, right? Right? And he can do the same thing to me. Right? He's been doing it a long time, right? He doesn't think it's sick, right? Like he gets something out of this. Right? So rather than go on and on, I'll pick up where I left off. Building your coven. I need 1 second. I guess this is where I am. No, I'm farther. Sorry, I'll probably cut it. So the book spans from May of 2021 through February of 2025. This is bullshit. I can't remember where I was. Oh, it went too low. That's interesting. Okay. Yes, okay. Building a coven. As I finished typing my email to Hazel, wherein I asked if she would be willing to buy me a one-way ticket from here to there, Willow came into my ear saying, pleading, I need you to love me like you did. I know I have no right to ask anything of you, but please, just tell me we can get back there. I see all these girls hovering all around you. Please, 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 please. Until I finally tell her, we can get back there, don't worry. And Annabella tells her, he loves you. You don't deserve him. And both of us are as upset. And both of us are upset as she listens to Love Me Like You Do. Artist, fartist, more like, unknown. And I look for pieces of cigarettes to smoke in front of the front door. To no avail. She says, thank you, Ethan, for being so good to me. I want us to be close, referencing my email to Hazel. And after a moment, I admit, I've always wanted that. And I remind Lisa I'm thinking about her too. And she says, yes, he's so good to us. You're such a dumb bitch, Willow. To which Willow replies, I know. Lisa tells me that she's going to be good to me once I get there and make sure I'm comfortable and that I have everything I need. I appreciate such loving, kind words. I want to keep this feeling of being loved. I'll do whatever I have to. But now, seeing love be degraded to a weapon, I have to be careful. Willow apologizes. I have no justification for believing her. And I don't. But I don't want to. I know I'm a fool. I just took my socks off for the first time in weeks. It's a fucking war zone down there. Trench foot ripples of pruned flesh dominate under my toes, as well as the top arch. Blisters and brittle nails throughout. Eat your fucking heart out. Dirt coagulated into thoroughfares between toes. They really are horrendous. They discuss buying me a ticket. I'll start holding my breath. I get the feeling Lisa wants to play Gertrude, and I'm told that is in fact true. Lisa is jealous of her. Feels that she got all the breaks and is zeroing in on me to take her piece of Lisa's action. I assure her as best as I'm able I don't want to upset her. I don't want to upset you, Lisa, who also informs me her sister is likely doing this to fuck me. To which Clay says, she's our Willow. I won't do it. Don't worry, Elizabeth, I care about you. And I know it won't hurt you. I know it would hurt you. And so I won't do it. It's easy. I'm yours. That feels so good, Lisa tells me. I love you so much. How can you be so good to us? How can you still be so good to Willow still? I could mention something about psychic communion. As I prepared to reply, Willow decried, you're mine too. And Lisa snapping back, only because you're even luckier than me. Last night was agony. I rested for maybe 14 hours, but slept on the cold grass in the thicket 1 mile from the bus station where I now charge my phone. Willow's so schizophrenic in her emotions. Yesterday, all grace, all kindness, all love. Today, spite, rage, frustration. I awoke hearing a song. I just looked it up. It's called Hot Girl Bummer, Hot Girl Anthem. It's a tacky, bad song. The two of us are very alike, though I loathe to admit it. I often, in states of emotional rhapsody, fall into songs as therapy, as an expression of understanding. She hates how strong I am, how dismissive I am of all that she does, which is, as her father espouses, dig around people's heads and fuck guys, both of which I loathe as an idea. Stealing people's fears is abhorrent. Living in your basest terrestrial compulsions is also abhorrent. They are, in fact, the opposite of magic. My emotions are spiraling. The thought of walking 16 days to New York is so exhausting to consider, and I have no choice. I have to see it through. Hazel tells me she's doing it. However, I cannot wait forever. I have to begin walking today. Elizabeth, too, is on my mind. She tells me that she loves me and not to worry about Willow. She comments often on my strength. They all do. But I feel Lisa is the most loving now. We're both crying as she tells me she loves me and needs me. Someone, I believe Willow, thanks me for not mentioning to my sister the Coven. To which I said, she won't even believe the fundamental truth. The Coven is as abstract as it gets. Clay is in his fear now too. I had the thought a couple days ago of someone commenting how Alistair's set was so bad, and he told me then that was me. I'm in my fear, and it just flashed through my mind once again just now. I know it must be hard being so empathic and wanting to please everyone and knowing you never can in the arts, but we all know how legendary it is. I'm assured it is only legendary because I made it happen, and I have to get there. Clay assured me before I arrive it won't take that long. I had hoped I could get a bus ticket. Clay assures me I'll be there soon. Q as well. Tells me, you just have to get here. I'll start walking today. I need to find some clothes. Hazel is torn. She wants to help. I need her help. She knows they all want her to, and that it has to be her. She can call me, but she knows she doesn't need to because it is me. I'll stop there. Hazel is a girl that I acted on the stage with. Her name is Rachel, right? And so Quentin, again, right? It's all Quentin and the people around him, right? It's a novelization of my experiences with Quentin on the psychic frontier regarding the movie Critic, right? Quentin led me to believe that he has a daughter of adult age because he's old, right? He's 62, however old, right? Therefore, he could have a daughter that's like 20. right? Who loved me and wanted my baby, right? And so in trusting him, I trusted him because I blew it at Tribeca, right? Screening of Jackie Brown, De Niro Con, right? And that's what led to the rhapsody of words you see me reading on this laptop every time I make a video, right? That everything that he's done, right? He didn't do all this for him to say, oh, ha, gotcha, motherfucker, we're best friends. Like, let's hug each other and make a movie. No. No, it doesn't work that way, right? Because the things that he's done to me, right, make it to where my foundation is that I can never forgive him. No. Oh, you think that this mind thing is a game? That's like what we're playing right now. We're playing the psychic mind game. Right? Oh, so you made all this money making movies, right? And you think that the things that you do now with me has something to do with money. No, that's not, right? That's not how it works, right? That wisdom is outside of money, right? And so that's my point of making this channel, right? That everything that he's done has been to compel me to say, oh gosh, he's so cruel, bang. Oh gosh, his fake daughter is so evil and mean, bang. Right? And that girl, Allison Tarantino, right? Allie Jean _4, right? The one that he said, oh no, this is her, this is the one, right? That makes $500 an hour to get bukkake poured all over her, right? That's, right? That girl just got asked to marry someone else on her Instagram. Right? So they were like, we're all, oh, ha, what a game, what a joke. Right? My point is that, right, like I have no cause to ever love this man in any way or the people around him, right? And so if I'm looking into my life, right, in terms of like what's occurring to me out in the world, right? Why on earth would Quentin think when he looks at his heart, oh, I need to forgive this man? Right? He's behaved a certain way. He's shown how he feels about me in this behavior. Right? So, I don't really know what else to say. That this is what's occurring. The Burbank International Film Festival supports a dangerous, evil man and want to give a Lifetime Achievement Award to a man who not only appropriates spousal abuse, right? Who not only allows Harvey Weinstein to run amok on his film sets for 20 fucking years, right? He also, right, betrays, right, the Ark of the Covenant, right? That he betrays the divine celestial resonance that he can tap into in his mind, that anyone can tap into, right? Someone proved me wrong. Oh, wait, you can't because I'm right. Right? I betray no master. Oh, you got a problem with the things that I'm saying? Take it up with your master. I have none. Right? And so my point is that rather than look inside of himself, right, and see that beautiful wife he's got, see those two small children, his daughter who gets fucked by men for money, right, she's actually a toddler. Right? And so my point is that the same way that he told me he wanted me to question him about cinema speculation, which is right behind this book, right, at De Niro Con, right, is the same tactic that he uses, right, to tell me that his daughter is a skanky prostitute who gets paid nothing, $500 an hour, right, to get pissed on, to get bukkake poured all over her, to get gangbanged, right, as though it came from one of his movies, right? And so, right, what I'm saying is that if the movie Critic isn't the film that he kicks off in December, and if this stays the way that it is, he's going to pay people to torture me every day he makes that movie, right? Then if that's not the case, right, then the movie that he's making in December with Sony and Stacey Sharon, Angie McDonald, all of those entities don't care about women's rights, right? They support sexual and psychological and spousal abuse. Right? Did that movie that he's making with those people, right, is going to be some sort of like script, right? Like screenplayization of what's occurred between the two of us from A to B, right? And so I'm going to recite some Shakespeare, I guess, and then I'm going to stop because I've been going forever, I'm sure. But life is not an accident, right? That Quentin is tapping into these celestial divine powers, right? Under the arrogant supposition that it has something to do with fame or money. Right? And so I'm here, psychic scientist, boom, there's the board, that's the painting, right? Here's the skeleton, the subspatial structuring, right? But see what's good in your life, uplift your soul to God. Be absolute for death. Either death or life shall thereby be the sweeter. Reason thus with life. If I do lose thee, I do lose a thing that none but fools shall keep. A breath thou art. Servile to all the sky influences that dust this habitation where thou keepst thou any afflict. Merely thou art death's fool. For him thou labourest by thy flight to shun, and yet runs toward him still. Thou art not noble, for all thy effects. It's really long. It's really long. Okay, I'm going to stop. I can't remember all of it. Forgive me. Uplift your soul to God. Like, comment, subscribe, share. All the best.